Welcome back to Intables, everyone. So I'm going to go with you guys in the S&P 500. Again, this is the SPY. We have Fed hikes coming out tomorrow at 2 o'clock Eastern time, 11 o'clock Pacific time. Powell will be speaking shortly after. We're going to see exactly what Powell mentions, if he does mention a possible 50 basis point hike going into the next meeting, as we do have, again, anticipations going into this hike at a 75 basis points. If we have a 100 basis points hike going into tomorrow, then we could have a major pullback. I'm going to go over exactly what our bullish case would be and our bearish case, as we did, again, have our indecisive doge candle coming out yesterday. Our white shaded line showing us that decrease in buy pressure to the upside, and then we did have a follow through with that decrease in momentum to the upside as we are leading into tomorrow's Fed rate hike. I'm going to go over all this with you guys. Now, before I jump into this, all I ask in return is you smash that like button and hit subscribe if you want to see more chart updates on potential breakouts that I mention every single day throughout the week. And if you are a day trader or you are looking for intraday perspective breakouts, very volatile breakouts that we mention every single day throughout the week, go to instables.com in the description below. And for only $15 a month, you guys will never miss a breakout alert today again. So let's jump into this one. So jumping into the daily chart with you guys here on the SPY, I do apologize. I did lose my voice. I have the worst toothache, and I'm going to have to get that done at some point. Definitely not while I'm doing alerts during the day, but I'm definitely going to have to get that done at some point. As you guys can see here, we do have a big day coming up tomorrow. Again, tomorrow's Fed hikes either going to be 75 basis points or 100 basis points. Again, we got an increase in CPI at 9.1, 0.5 increase. Our recent CPI is at 0.3 increase. We had an increase with rate hikes because of our 0.3 increase. So our question is, with a 0.5 increase larger than our previous one, is Jerome Powell going to raise the 100 basis points, or are we going to stick to 75 basis points and have a possibility of an outlook on a 50 basis point leading into the next meeting? We're going to see what Powell says going into tomorrow. We're going to see exactly what our rate hike going into tomorrow is going to be. As you guys can see, we do have, again, our possible bear flag here. Again, we have been getting a lot of relief to the downside because, again, we do have that possible outlook on a possible decrease in rate hikes. So we have been getting some pressure and some consolidation here. So our question is, again, if Powell will have that outlook for a 50 basis point leading into the next meeting, or if we are going to continue on with this pressure that we have been decreasing to the upside from. As you guys can see on our MACD, we did get a white shaded line coming in. We did get a follow through on that white shaded line. We do have our 12 EMA line crossing above the median of our MACD, which again was very bullish, but we want to see again what Powell has to say. We want to see if our 12 EMA does start to curl down for that possible increase in sell pressure to get a possible continuation on lower, and then look for a better setup with our EMA line crossing back up to see if we can get that continuation on that momentum, or we are going to increase in buy pressure, break above our previous buy pressure point if Powell again does get very dovish. We're going to see exactly what Powell says, exactly how the market reacts, exactly how dovish Powell can be tomorrow will be very key. As you guys can see, we did break into the upper end of our second deviation. We did mention yesterday that we did get that rejection on the upper end of our deviation, as we had again that doji candle, indecisive candle coming out, and sure enough getting that rejection to the upside and a follow through on those white shaded lines here, showing us that decrease in buy pressure to the upside, very much anticipating this Wednesday's Fed rate hike. And again, what we're looking for from Powell going into tomorrow is to see if he does plan to have a possible decrease in rate hikes, or if he does seem to be reacting to more panic in the market based on inflation that did increase again at 0.5. So we're going to see exactly how he does react. As you guys can see on our relative strength, again, we did mention yesterday that we were pointing down after we did have this spike on that possibility of being overbought. We are now continuing on with that spike to the downside, again, with that pressure to the downside. We are wondering if we're going to hold this level that we did break above the median of our RSI previously from, had that rejection, and again, got our bullish divergence that we did have confirmation on that rejection to the downside from. Again, that bullish divergence was, again, getting higher lows here on our RSI as we are oversold below our 30 RSI, as we are getting, again, lower highs on our price action, showing us that reverse in momentum to the downside. Again, a relative strength showing us lower lows here and showing us higher lows here. So again, we did get those bullish divergence. We did have that bounce because of that. Now our question is, are we going to hold this level? Are we going to continue on below the median of our RSI, which would again give us that possibility of being now into oversold territory? So what we do want to see is if we can break above the previous point that we had here on our RSI to see if we are increasing with our relative strength to the upside. And again, that very much will be predicated on exactly what Powell has to say going into tomorrow, of course. And if we're looking for that decompression to continue to the upside, again, we do want our body of our candle to continue to break into the upper end of our deviation, so that way we do have that squeeze to the upside, so that way we can break out of this bear flag that we have possibly playing out here. We want to see if we can, again, break above our previous consolidated point that we did have before our pullback, that we need to make sure, again, that we do consider. Now, looking at our volume profile, as you guys can see, overall, we are testing a very key point that we have here on our VPVR, a very strong point. If we do drop down below this, then we could have a possible gap down and possibly even test our 375 level. And again, our lows of the year here is at 362. So we want to see if we can hold 390, and again, very much predicated on what Powell says. And then our next level here is at 375 if we do have a pullback. And then then our last level here is at 362 to see if we do continue on into lows of the year. If we do want to break higher again, we want to break above our strong VPVR point here, which is again at 412. If we can continue on past 412, then we can assume that we can continue on higher from there. But again, very much playing very cautious here to the upside, as we have been mentioning for the last couple of days, as we are sitting again on white shaded lines here, looking for an increase in buy pressure. Again, I do like how our EMA line is crossing above the median of our MACD. We have been waiting for that for quite a while. As you guys can see previously, we did have that happen. We had the strongest rally that we had of the year. Again, I will mention any key points that Powell does mention tomorrow in the Instables room as always. Now, again, with that said, I know the market has been very choppy. Maybe you've seen a couple red days and maybe things have been very slow, but if you guys are looking for major breakouts that we mentioned every single day throughout the week, we mentioned major breakouts, for example, here with PGY. As you guys can see, we had this break from $14.17 that we had on Friday. Again, we did mention this on this major breakout as well on Friday. However, as you guys can see, we did break into new highs today. We had a very clear and textbook breakout here as we did continue on into new highs and broke up all the way up to 2150, reacting against the market as a speculative play, but sure enough, breaking into new highs on the day. So again, if you want to see all these breakouts, go to instables.com in the description below, and you will never miss a breakout alert today again. And all of you instables that come over every single day and support the channel, I appreciate every one of you guys. We're going to continue to go at it. Again, I apologize for my voice. It's just killing me today, but we're going to continue to go out in the Instables room. Stay patient. Take what the market gives us as usual. See what Powell has to say tomorrow, and exactly how we digest will be very key. And again, if you guys do like this video, it does help the channel grow, and I do appreciate it very much. And again, God bless you all, and I'll see you guys in pre-market.